for round number 2. Moving back to moto number 5 with our 13-14 girls cruiser.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
But is Facebook back? YouTube is back. Is Facebook? They're both. All right, we're back on Restream, which is putting us both on Facebook and YouTube. So let your remote family know. Right now, though, 13-14 girls cruiser total points racing right here. Smiley Kylie Shepard, Riley King, and Kensington Yingling. Sitting up front is that 7 bike Smiley Kylie Shepard, followed by the 8 of Riley King, the 6 of Kensington Yingling, sitting on the 3. All the way to the stripe. That is how they are going to finish, and I don't have my pen ready. All that talk about pens in round 1, and I didn't even have it ready. All right, moto number 6, 17-20 women cruiser, McKenna Liptak, Vanessa Mayo, and Gabby Welch. Right now, McKenna Liptak sitting on the 1. Gabby Welch sitting on the 2. Vanessa Mayo sitting on the 3 at the half-track point.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And to the strap. They're going to hold that order. McKenna Liptak with your 1. Gabby, whoa, maybe. Better get to pedaling, Gabby. That is going to be Gabby Welch with your 2. Vanessa Mayo going to get your 3. Moto number 7, 51-55. Women's Cruiser, Kathy Hall, Miss Kitty Weston-Nauer, and Grandma Mary Wallace. Total points race again. Low points going to win the night. And right now, Kathy Hall is sitting on the 1. Miss Kitty Weston-Nauer on the 2. Grandma Mary Wallace on the 3. Coming out of turn number 2.
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And all the way to the stripe, racking up a pair of aces is going to be Kathy Hall with your 1, Miss Kitty Weston-Nauer your 2, Grandma Mary Wallace your 3. Moving on to 10-year-old cruisers, Weston Sheepdog Shepherd, Jackson Bowie, Bea Quad Stotson, and that's it because there's only 3 riders, 1 transferred, and that is Jackson Bowie sitting up front. We're taking 2 riders, Jackson Bowie and Bea Dotson on the 1 and 2.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders
8, 9, and 10-year-olds right here, but that is going to be Jackson Bowie and Bea Dotson. Moving on, Weston, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto number 9, 14-year-old cruiser, Neon Noah Odell, Big Mac Duval, and Dill Pickle Harris. Total points there, trying to earn a spot in the main event. That just means the top 2 are going to move on. Sitting up front is going to be Big Mac Duval, followed by the 39 bike of Neon Noah Odell. And Dill Pickle Harris sitting on the 3. Coming to the stripe, that means your transfers are going to be Big Mac and Neon Noah. Who, Noah, your gear is really not very neon this year. Might need to change the name. All right, Dylan, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moving on, moto number 10, 17-20 cruiser, total points race right here.
Ready, watch the gate.
Normal, neutral. It's gray. It's neutral Noah. That's what I'm calling in the main events, man. All right, Moto 10, 17-20 cruiser, Dakota Golden Peddler, Harris, Ryan O'Neill, and Jordan Bowman. Total points again. Right now, Dakota Harris sitting out front, followed by the 004 of Ryan Neal. Whoa.
Okay, riders.
Got some noises coming out of that bike. Check your...
Watch the gate.
Before you pedal too much. Yeah, I would head up to the bike shed and get that checked out. That is popping pretty bad. So that is going to be Dakota Harris with your 1, Ryan O'Neill with your 2, Jordan Bowman going to be your 3. Moto number 11, Brady Connor, Andrew Rao, and Matthew Kepka trying to get into that main event. Top 2 riders going to stick around.
Ready, watch the gate.
all the way to the stripe. That is going to be the 46 of Andrew Rao and the 17 of Brady Connor. Moving on. Kepka having a little fun down that last straight, getting a little air. Matt, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto 12, 4650 Cruiser, Drew Jameson, Jeremy Carroll, and Matt Daniel Johnson. Jameson and Johnson sitting up front. Carroll right there. Total points here, though, and that is last round. Drew Jameson had the 1, Matt Daniel Johnson with the 2, and that is how they're going to finish this one, too. Drew with the 1, Matt Daniel the 2, Jeremy, your 3. 5 and under novice, first rack of these little riders, Moto 13. We're on track with Ethan Johnson, Zeke Haynes, Raven, Track Brat, Cates, Bridget Kielberg, and Lincoln Rao. Only 2 riders going to make it to that main event. It's going to be a full rack for 5 and under. Whoa, Bridget off the pedals, on the pedals. Bridget up front, Rao on the 2. Raven Cates going to try to get by, make it to that next transfer spot.
Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Coming down that last straight. It's going to be close, but you guys are both going to make it. That is going to be Lincoln Rao and Bridget Kielberg. Raven, Zeke, and Ethan, thanks for racing today. Moto 14, 5 and under novice. Second rack of these riders, Zoe Holly, Rhett Chitwood, Grant Perrier, Enoch Shingleton, and Rosie Malone, top 2. Once again, going to move on. Motos 13 and 14 are going to race together in the main event, but do make sure you come up your original chute. So we are going to look for riders from 13 in chute 3 and riders from 14 in chute 4.
Random start. Riders ready.
2 riders going to move on to the main event. We got 2 sitting up front, 1 all right there on the bubble. But coming to the stripe is looking like the 163 of Enoch Shingleton and the 373 of Rhett Chitwood. Zoe, Grant, and Rosie, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto number 15, 6-year-old novices, first rack of these guys. You're going to stick around. Christopher Robles, Matthias Tierney, and Carter, CJ Jackson.
Ready. Watch the gate.
Top 2 going to stick around to race mains. Oh, slipped that pedal. Back on it. Way to go. And that is going to be the 128. And was that a 948? All right. So Christopher Robles and Carter Jackson going to be transfers. Matthias, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto number 16, 6-year-old novice, Ruby Red Tarpening, Weston Bowman, and Liliana Hodges. Once again, 2 riders going to stick around and battle in the main event in that full rack of 6-year-old novice. And coming to the stripe, that is going to be Weston Bowman, and your second transfer is going to go to the 33 bike of Ruby Red Tarpening. Liliana, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto 17, 7-year-old novices taking 2 riders once again on track with Garrett Cannon, Evelyn Cady, and Jack Murphy. Sitting up front at 22, Evelyn Cady, followed by Garrett Cannon and Jack Murphy.
Ready. Watch the gate.
All the way down that last straight to the finish line is going to be the 22, Evelyn Cady, and the 976 of Garrett Cannon. Moving on. Jack, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto number 18, 8-year-old novices, Braxton Rao, Grant Roberts, Kensington Yingling, and Micah Haynes. Top 3 going to stick around. That is at 152, Braxton Rao sitting up front, followed by Kensington Yingling and the 291 of Grant Roberts.
Ready. Watch the gate.
Looks like we are missing the 4th rider there, so this is a boat ride for these guys. So Braxton, Grant, and Kensington going to move on to the main event. Micah, thanks for racing. Moto, Haley Velasquez, and Daniel Blunt, not total points. They are trying to get into that main right now. That is the 972. Daniel sitting up front, followed by 129 of Sal Lamano and Haley Velasquez on the 3.
Watch the gate.
And riding smart, making it to the main event, that is going to be Daniel Blunt and Sal Lamano. Haley Velasquez, thanks for racing with us. Moto number 21, 11-year-old novices. We are out on track with JC Wolf, Devin Highfield, Wyatt Dutton, and Oliver Rodenmeyer. That is that 321. Devin Highfield sitting up top, JC on the 2, Wyatt on the 3. And we are taking 3, so we are a boat ride right now. Oliver being out, so JC, Devin, and Wyatt going to move on to main events. Moto number 22, 12-year-old novices, top 2 going to move on to mains. Ethan Malone, Antonio Lopez Duarte, and Blake Johnson. Looking like Antonio sitting up front.
Attention.
Followed by Blake and Ethan.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And all the way to the stripe. That is going to be Antonio Lopez Duarte with your 1. And the 187 of Blake Johnson getting your other transfer. Ethan, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto number 23, 13-year-old novices, Kale Kepka. Who do you need at staging, Chris? Henry Campbell. Henry Campbell is staging, please. 13-year-old novices, Kale Kepka, Connor Arnold, and Jackson Nichols. Total points race once again with these riders, and that is looking like Jackson Nichols out front.
Riders ready, watch
Connor
the gate.
Arnold going to be your 2. Kale Kepka going to be your 3. So 24, 14-year-old novice, not total points there, working to get into that main. Caden King, Dill Pickle Harris, and Henry Jepson. Top 2 going to stick around. Right now, sitting up front, that is Caden King on the 1, Dill Pickle on your 2, Henry Jepson on your 3, going down that 3rd straight.
Ready, watch the gate.
And to the stripe, that is how they are going to land. Caden King and Dylan Dill Pickle Harris going to be your transfers. Henry, thanks for racing tonight. Moto number 25, 26-35 novice. Total points here, Cody Chidsey, King Henry Campbell, and Blake Cates. Henry Campbell sitting up front, followed by Blake and Cody.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And they are going to finish just like round 1. Henry with your 1, Blake Cates with your 2, Cody Chidsey going to be your 3. Moto 26, 46-50 novice on track with Daniel Malone, L.A. Macklin, and Alvin Howard. Macklin and Howard battling out up front. All right, man. Daniel Malone out here. First race, I believe.
Okay, riders, random start.
Good fun time to be out here. I miss racing.
Ready, watch the gate.
I wish I could still do it. That is going to be Alvin Howard, going to be your 1, L.A. Macklin your 2, Daniel Malone going to be your 3 in that total points race. Moving on to intermediates. Skinny tires, little legs, moving fast. Brecken, Queen Bee, Murray, Blake Dotson, Madden Kilberg, and Piper Harves taking the top 3. Going to stick around, race the main events with us. Coming out of turn 2, that is the 116, Madden Kilberg, Piper Harves in the 2. The 10 bike of Brecken Murray sitting on the 3, and Blake Dotson on the 4.
Ready,
3 years old, racing up to these 6-year-olds. Thank you. Potential move up. All right, that is going to be Madden Kilberg, Piper Harves, and Brecken Murray going to move on. Blake, thanks for racing with us tonight. Moto number 28, 7-year-old intermediate. Seth Gotta Go Fast Daily, Edwin Welch, and Roman Hall. Total points right here.
Attention.
They are sitting just like they did last round. Seth Daly, Edwin Welch, and Roman Hall in that order. Finished order from round 1. How they came out of turn 2. And to the stripe. There we go. Seth Daly with your 1. Edwin Welch going to be your 2. Roman Hall got your 3. Moto number 29, 8-year-old intermediates, Avery Franklin, Slow-Mo Brodo Dotson, and Keon Boyvert. Sitting up front is that 8 bike, Brody Dotson. We got a battle for 2.
Random start.
Avery and Keon pushing hard. Avery got it last round, so we'll see. Maybe they are going to tie it up. That's what it's looking like now coming down that last straight. But that is definitely Slow-Mo Brodo Dotson up front. And that 18 bike, Keon, going to get you 2. Avery Franklin going to get you 3. So they are tied up going into that main event. Moto number 39-year-old intermediates, Hunter Hodges, Brennan Hale, and Lachlan Lightning Campbell taking the top 2.
Attention.
Hale, Hodges, Campbell, that order coming out of turn 2, moving through that rhythm section. No, all the way to the stripe is going to be Brennan Hale and Hunter Hodges moving on. Lachlan, thanks for racing tonight. Moto number 31, 10-year-old intermediates, Talon, Twinkle Toes, Dobbs, Colton Style, and Adeline Hall. Top 2 sticking around right now. That is Adeline Hall sitting up front. We got a battle for that second transfer spot between Talon and Colton. Ethan Deal, we need you up at staging. Right now, though, at that finish line, we're going to have Adeline Hall picking up your first transfer and your second transfer going to Talon Dobbs. Colton, thanks for racing tonight. Moto number 32, 12-year-old intermediates. Maybe.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Moto 32, 12-year-old intermediates taking top 2, 2 and 2. They're going to join with Moto 33 in that main to make a full 8 in the gate for 12 intermediates. On track with Gunner, the Gladiator Nash, Hunter Conklin, and Dylan King. The 123, Hunter Conklin sitting up front, followed by Dylan King. Gunner going to try to catch up, but they are going to battle for that last transfer spot going into turn number 3. Heard some brake squeaking there. I don't know who pulled it, but that is going to be Hunter Conklin. And
Attention.
the 91 of Dylan King going to be your second transfer. Moto number 33, 12-year-old intermediates. On track with Jojo Biondi, Ethan Deal, and Benny the Bass. Not total points. Top 2 are going to stick around for the main event. 32 and 33 are going to come together in that main event for full 8 riders of 12-year-old intermediates in the gate in the mains. Benny the Jet Bass sitting up front, followed by Jojo and Ethan.
Attention.
Oh, man, they are side by side going into turn 3.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
That is going to be... Man, Benny the Jet and Jojo Biondi going to move on. Ethan, thanks for racing tonight. Moto number 34, 13-year-old intermediates. That's a little bit of screaming up there. Sounds like somebody's hurt. 13-year-old intermediates on track with Hunter Bowman, Derek Wise, Maverick Miracle, Riley King, and Mackenzie and Mac Roberts. Top 4 are going to stick around.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Coming to the stripe is a state plate looking like Derek Wise. Followed by the 126, Maverick Miracle, Riley King, and Mac Roberts. Hunter, thanks for racing tonight. Moto 35, 14-year-old intermediates on track with Skylar Visnich, Benjamin Fetch, Blake Laney, Neon Noah Odell, and Adelaide Welch. Sorry, neutral Noah Odell on that neutral gray gear.
Ready, watch the gate.
Sitting up front, we are taking 4. So top 4 riders going to stick around. That is going to be Adelaide Welch, the 110, Benjamin Fetch, neutral Noah, and Blake Laney. Skylar, thanks for racing tonight. Moto 36, 15-year-old intermediates on track with Dakota Golden Hill Harris, Malin Pokup, and Jordan Bowman. Total points race right here.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the
And
gate.
to the stripe, just like they did last round. Dakota Harris with your 1, Malin Pokup with your 2, Jordan Bowman gonna be your 3. Moto number 37, 2635 intermediate, Brady Connor, Jason Mercer, and Brandon Patillo. Not total points, top 2 gonna stick around, get to race one more round.
Attention.
I remember some nights when it was like, I have to race another round. Can it be one round transfer? Or in the rain, yeah. We could change that format, but right now, coming to the stripe is going to be the 92, Jason Mercer, and the 73 of Brady Connor. Brandon, thanks for racing tonight. Moto number 38, 12-year-old girls expert back on track this total points race. We have 3 different ages on track, 10, 11, and 12. Kylie Shepard, Wellborn, and Gwen Guerrero.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And to the stripe, that is going to be Tatum with your 1, Gwenny with your 2, Smiley Kylie going to get your 3. Moto number 39, 4150, women's expert, total points race again, Grandma Mary Wallace, Vanessa Mayo, and Miss Kitty Weston Nauer. Vanessa Mayo sitting now out front, just like last round, Miss Kitty in the 2, Grandma Mary Wallace on the 3. Oh, this is a good time. Hey, Brian, I assume you're going to do your raffle. So you might want to go ahead and grab the microphone out of the mic box and sign up so you're ready. The mic box and sign up so you're ready at the end of this round. Mayo getting your 1. Miss Kitty Weston now are looking like she's going to hold on to that 2. And Grandma Mary Wallace going to get your 3. Moving on to experts, 7-year-old experts on track. Kane the Hulk Combs, Elijah Corndog Holly, and Austin Baby Cake Miller.
Attention.
Miller sitting up front, followed by Combs and Holly. That's what they looked like last round. But 2 9-year-old experts, Graham, Golden Boy Little, Taco Bell, 2 9-year-old experts, Graham, Golden Boy Little, Taco Bell, Aldrich, and Corbin, Clutch Howard. Not total points. They are looking for transfers. Top 2 going to stick around.
Ready, watch the gate.
And to the stripe is going to be that 18 bike of Graham Golden Boy Little and the 15 of Corbin Clutch Howard. Bellamy, thanks for racing tonight. Moto 43 10-year-old experts on track with Saccone, Fetty Stay Ready Hall, Baya Quads, Dotson, and Sawyer, Snake, Penny.
Attention.
Penny, Dotson, Hall, 1, 2, and 3 coming out of turn 2.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Sawyer, I need Archer to give you a pep talk. You got second round Archer going right now. That is going to be on the main events. Cruz, thanks for racing tonight. Moto 45, 12-year-old experts, total points right here. Last round, it was Maverick Moorfield, Broen Morgan, Corbin Davidson.
Attention.
That's the way they are sitting coming out of turn
riders,
2.
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And if my prediction is right, that is how they're going to sit at the finish line. Maverick Moorfield, your 1, Broen Morgan, your 2, Corbin Davidson going to be your 3. Moto 46, 13-year-old experts on track with A.J. Johnson, Liam the Nightmare Taylor, Tyler McMorris, and Cody Velasquez.
Attention.
Okay, riders.
Velasquez, Johnson, and Taylor sitting on the transfer spots right now. Tyler McMorris chasing them down. Yeah, all right, that is going to be A.J. Johnson, Liam Taylor, and Cody Velasquez. Tyler, thanks for racing. All right, Brian Peck, please go grab the handheld mic out of the sign-ups box so you are ready for your raffle. Moto number 47. Thank you.
Attention.
14-year-old experts, total points right here. Jake Hattie, Zach Campbell, and Colton Hingle.
Ready, watch the gate.
All right, that is going to be Colton Hingle with your 1, Campbell with your 2, Hattie with your 3. Would someone else go grab Brian Peck and tell him to get the handheld mic to do the raffle? Anybody. I'm down here. I can only do so much. I can only be so loud.
Attention.
Moto 48, 15-year-old experts, Jameson Ashley, Gerald Wise Guy, Wiseman, and Cassius Money Combs. Total points right here. Sitting on low points as Cassius Money comes, and that is gonna lots of brakes chatter. Lots of brakes chatter. And your transfers are gonna be
Attention.
Darren Nash, and we got a battle
Okay,
for this
riders,
next one.
ready,
Dylan Larson and JJ Jones, but that is gonna be
riders ready,
the
watch
767 of Dylan Larson. Gonna make it JJ Jones. Thanks for racing. Moto 51, last moto of round number 2. Johnson & Johnson and Zachariah Hinton. Johnson & Hinton is a law firm, I think. But right now, Scott Johnson is laying down the law. How about that? That was a bad joke. Bad joke right there. But anyway, looking for transfers right now, and that is Scott Johnson sitting up front, Matt Daniel Johnson in the 2, Zachariah Hinton sitting on the 3. And that is going to be Scott and Matt Daniel. Zach, thanks for racing for us. On a bike, we're going to get a loaner bike. Run it. Moto number 6, we're going to kick off with our 1720 women cruiser, McKenna Leptak, Vanessa Mayo, and Gabby Welch. Not that guy, man. There's no motors on the bikes. Vanessa and Gabby tied at 5 points each. So that means that McKenna's going to have it locked up with the first place, and whoever crosses first between Vanessa and Gabby is going to be your 2, because that's how total points work. So you get 1 point per place for all 3 rounds.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And they are off, kicking off our main events right now. I'm going to watch so I can keep track of how quick we go on this one. McKenna Leptak, Vanessa Mayo, and Gabby Welch coming out for the last time. McKenna Leptak sitting on a pair of aces. Vanessa and Gabby tied with 5 points each.
Attention.
McKenna sitting out front, Gabby sitting on the 2, Vanessa on the 3.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And all the way to the stripe. That is going to be McKenna Leptak hanging on to your 1. Gabby Welch looking like going to be your 2 with 7 points, and Vanessa Mayo going to be 8 points with your 3. 51-55 women cruiser right here. Moto number 7, Kathy Hall, Miss Kitty Westenauer, and Grandma Mary Wallace. Kathy Hall sitting on the 1s, Miss Kitty on the 2s, Grandma Mary on the 3s.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And all the way to the stripe. That is going to be Kathy Hall going to get your 1. Miss Kitty going to be your 2.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start.
And Grandma Mary Wallace going to be your 3, and that is going to be their final
Watch
order.
the gate.
Moto number 8, 10-year-old cruisers right here with Jackson Bowie, Bea Quad Stotson, and Jet the Hawk O'Connell, and that is going to be Jackson Bowie with your 1, Jet the Hawk O'Connell your 2, Bea Quad Stotson going to be your 3. Moto number 9, 14-year-old cruisers, neutral Noah Odell, Benjamin Fetch, Big Mac Duval, and Derek Wise.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Coming to the stripe, total, not total points right here. This is going to be Benjamin Fetch with your 1, Wise your 2, and the 34 bike of Big Mac Duval going to be your 3. Moto number 10, 1720 cruiser, total points right here. We got some riders tied up with 3 point each. Dakota and Ryan sitting on 3s. Jordan Bowman sitting on
Attention.
6.
Okay, riders, random start.
Oh, man. I think one rider wasn't racing, so that is going to be Dakota Harris. Going to get your overall 1. And Jordan Bowman going to be your overall. Jordan Bowman's going to be the overall 3.
Attention.
He's going to be a 3
Okay, riders,
overall.
random start.
Jordan Bowman is the overall 3. Jordan Bowman gets the number 3 chip. And Ryan Neal, even though you didn't race, that was a 4 if you don't show, so you would be the number 2. Moto 11, 31-35 cruiser. I totally missed all that, so I'll have to come back over there. All right, that is going to be Svoboda, Andrew Rao, and Brady Connor. All right, then we are back to Moto number 5. But right now we got to do a little, we don't have to do math. That is going to be Drew Jameson, your overall 1, Nathaniel Johnson, your overall 2, Jeremy Carroll, your overall 3. And we are looping back to Moto number 5. Smiley, Kylie Shepard, Riley King, and Kensington Yingling Total points race once again. Smiley Kylie sitting on the aces, Riley on the twos, Kensington on the threes. All the way to the stripe, and that is going to be Smiley Kylie wrapping it up with another ace. Riley
Okay,
King
riders,
with your
random
two,
start.
and Kensington Yingling, you're over all three.
Ready? Watch the gate.
Now we are back. Moto 13 and 14, 5 and under novice, and I could tell by all the cheering up there. Right now we are on track with Piper Franklin, Callum Bronson, Bridget Kilberg, Lincoln Rao, Rhett Chitwood, Maggie Welch, Enoch Shingleton, and Kaliana Chidsey. Oh, we got a rider going down and going into the second straight. We'll get them checked out. Right now, sitting up front, Bronson, Chidsey, and Kilberg. Franklin sitting on the 4, trying to get around. We'll see who's taking home trophies tonight. Franklin making the pass, dropping into turn 3, and that is going to be Callum Bronson with your 1. Kaliana Chidsey, your 2, and Piper Franklin going to be your 3. That was a good race out of those 5 and unders. Good passing, lots of power.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready? Watch the gate.
Moto. Hold on, I got lost here. Moto 15-16, 6 novice. Christopher Robles, Jackson Beltran, Kian Brazee, Carter Jackson, Ruby Red Tarpening, Weston Bowman, Weston Moore, and Tatum Wolf. Got a battle for that third spot. That is the 189 and 090. Jackson and Weston Moore sitting up front.
Attention.
Okay, riders.
In and out of turn 3. We got Weston still sitting up front. Jackson on the 2. That is going to be Weston Moore, Jackson Beltran, and the something 48, 948 of Christopher Robles going to be your 3. Moto 17, 7-year-old novice, not total points. And I only said that because I looked up and I saw 3 riders. Right now we're on track with Finn Boyer, Raylan Grau, Garrett Cannon, and Evelyn Cady.
Attention.
Sitting up front, Finn Boyer, Evelyn Cady on the 2, and the 092 of Raylan Grau sitting on the 3.
Watch the gate.
And all the way to the stripe, that is going to be Finn Boyer with your 1, Evelyn Cady with your 2, and Raylan Grau going to be your 3. Moto number 18, 8-year-old novices, Chase Keelberg, Braxton Rao, Katie the Bug Johnson, Grant Roberts, Kensington Yingling, and Maverick Davis.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready? Watch the gate.
And to the stripe, that is going to be Chase Keelberg, going to be your 1. The 36 of Katie Johnson, going to be your 2. Yeah, what is... All right, guys, we got this moto going. We're still helping the rider out from the one before. There we go. All right, we got one rider up. We got the other one working with him down here. All right, I'm going to go check with scoring so I can announce the last two. All right, so Moto 18 was the 140, the 36 of Katie, so Chase Kilberg, Katie Johnson, and the 152 of Braxton Rao was your third. We got that last rider, Kensington, picked up, making her way off track. And the 9-year-old novice was Colini Beanie overall 1, Milo overall 2, and Charlie Warren your overall 3. We need Shelby Rao to sign-ups, please. All right, guys. We are back on Moto number 20, 10-year-old novices, 3 riders coming out, but it is not total points. It is what you see is what you get. Salamano, Kyson Parker, and Daniel Blunt for their main event. Driving into turn 2, Daniel taking the inside, making the pass. Kyson Parker sliding on back to 2.
Okay,
129, Salamano chasing him down into the rhythm section.
Ready, watch the gate.
Oh, we got a pass back right there. Good racing here. Kyson and Daniel battling it out. 2 riders coming out of BMX Racing League, but that is going to be Kyson with your 1, Daniel with your 2, and Salamano going to be your 3. Moto number 21, 11-year-old novice, JC Wolf, Devin Highfill, Zach Laney, Wyatt Dutton, Everett E-Money Carlton, and Dax Wright. Got some riders really banging bars here. That State 8, Everett E-Money Carlton sitting up front.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Woo, trying to make a pass on the outside, but that is going to be the State 8, the 321, and the 741. Everett Carlton, Devin Highfill, and Dax Wright. Your podium out of Moto 21. Moto 22, 12-year-old novice, Lily Campbell, Jacqueline Harrell, Antonio Lopez Duarte, and Blake Johnson.
Random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Sitting up front, Lily Campbell, got some company right there. Antonio Lopez Duarte on the 2. That's going to be Lily with your 1, Antonio with your 2, Jacqueline going to get your 3. Moto number 23, total points racing right here. Jackson Nichols, Connor Arnold, and Kale Kepka, and that's how they're sitting in points going into this main event.
Attention.
Jackson Nichols sitting up front, Connor Arnold sitting on the 2, Kale Kepka sitting on the 3.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And that is how they're going to finish overall. Jackson Nichols, your 1. Connor Arnold, your overall 2. Kale Kepka going to be your overall 3. Moto number 24, 14-year-old novices, Caden King, Dill Pickle Harris, Jackson Payton, and Carson Hawkins. Carson Hawkins sitting up front, followed by a big battle between Dill Pickle Harris and Caden King.
Watch the gate.
Jackson Payton getting up on in the mix there too, going into turn 3. Oh man, we got a rider down, back up. Carson Hawkins, your 1. Dill Pickle Harris, your 2. Jackson Payton gonna be your 3. Caden King back up, guys. Give him another round of applause, getting right back up. Moto 25, 26, 35. Novice Cody Chidsey, King Henry Campbell, and Blake Cates. Total points, Henry Campbell sitting on low points already. And given that he's mathematically locked up, that means crossing the finish line right now means King Henry is going to be your newest intermediate. Moving on up to intermediate, King Henry Campbell getting that 10th win tonight. I just announced that he just moved up to intermediate. I'm telling you, no one hears a thing that comes out of that PA. I literally said newest intermediate, and then she said, "Oh, that's a move up."
Attention.
All right,
Okay,
4650 novice on track with Alvin Howard,
Ready,
L.A.
watch the
Macklin,
gate.
and Daniel Malone, and that is how they are finishing. Howard with your 1, Macklin going to get you 2, Malone going to get you 3. But hey, man, that's a big win tonight, getting your first race in. Moto number, yeah, it's on. Yours is on. Moto 27, 6-year-old intermediates, Brecken, Queen Bee, Murray, Madden, Kielberg, Tonga, Piper Harves, and Kasem, Cabo, Hall. Tonga, Hall, and Kielberg. Kelly, nobody's really mad at you. We're just giving you crap. Nobody listens to me.
Attention.
All right, Eli Tonga going to get your 1, Kasem Cable Hall going to get your 2, and the 116, Madden Kielberg, your 3 out of Moto 27. Moto number 28, 7-year-old intermediates. Corey, you're dropping them slow, man. Yeah, you heard me. 7-year-old intermediates, Moto 28. Seth got to go fast daily, sitting on low points. Edwin Welch on the 2, and Roman Hall on the 3s.
Attention.
And that is how they're sitting coming out of turn 2. Seth, Edwin, and Roman.
Ready, watch the gate.
And all the way to the stripe. Seth Taylor tidied up. 3 aces. Edwin going to have the 2. Roman Hall going to have your 3. Moto number 29, 8-year-old intermediates on track. Total points right here. Slow-mo Bro Dotson got it locked up. Sitting up top.
Attention.
Okay,
Avery Franklin and Keon tied.
Ready, watch the gate.
5 points each. So whichever one of them crosses first is going to get the second place. And right now, that is going to be Slow-mo Brodo Dotson, your overall 1, Avery Franklin, your overall 2, and Keon going to be your overall 3.
Attention.
Moto number 39-year-old intermediate, Hunter Hodges, Brennan Hale, and Axel Miracle. Miracle sitting up front, followed by Hodges and Hale. Not total points. What you see is what you get out of these riders. And that is going to be Axel Miracle with your 1 and a big battle. Brennan Hale going to take over the 2-spot. Hunter Hodges going to be your 3. Moto 31, 10-year-old intermediate. Oh, my gosh. We got a couple riders tangled up. Adeline Hall sitting out front. We're making a clean first place there. We got Taylon Dobbs and Noak Belcher got tangled up. Oh, we got a transmission problem there, but that is going to be Adeline Hall going to get your 1. Taylon Dobbs going to have your 2. Noak Belcher going to get your 3. Right, Noak is back underway.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Big old full rack of 12 intermediates right now. Chase Mode, Curly, Hunter Conklin, Dylan King, Zach Attack Bass, JoJo Biondi, Winston, the Hunter Rogers, Benny the Jet Bass, and Big Mac Duval. Spreading out a little bit down that second straight. That is the 55. It's maybe a state 5. Chase Mode, Curly sitting up front. We got a battle for the rest of the podium right there, man. 3 riders all tangled up. And that is going to be Chase Mode, Curly with your 1, the 91,
Random start.
and the state 3, Dylan King, and Big Mac Duval going to round out your podium 2 and 3. Moto 34, 13-year-old intermediates, Carson Boogie Zagalik, Derek Wise, Maverick Miracle, Riley King, London Johnson, Mac Roberts, and Riley Fly Rye Brown. Zagalik sitting up front. Brown on the 2.
Okay, riders, random start.
London Johnson sitting on the 3.
Watch the gate.
I feel like you all did that in round 1, and that is how they're going to end. Zagalik, Brown, and Johnson going to be your podium. Moto number 35, 14-year-old intermediate. Oh, we got a rider down. On track was Steve-O Ostrom, Benjamin Fetch, Corbin Skaggs, Blake Laney, Neutral Noah Odell, Arch Penny, and Adelaide Welch. Penny, Skaggs, and Ostrom sitting up front. Getting our rider checked out. I think that's Ben Fetch over there. But that is going to be Archer Penny with your 1, Corbin Skaggs with your 2, Steve-O Ostrom with your 3. Big old round of applause for Ben getting back up.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random
Way to
start.
finish, man. You lost your shoe?
Ready, watch the gate.
It's a good wreck when you blow a shoe, man. 15-year-old intermediates, total points right here. Dakota Golden Peddler Harris sitting on low points with 1s. Malin Pokup with your 2s. Jordan Bowman sitting there with your 3s. No shoe. Shoeless. And they are sitting just like they've been all night. Dakota Golden Peddler Harris sitting up front on the 1. Malin Pokup on the 2. Jordan Bowman on the 3.
Watch the gate.
And that is holding all the way to the end. Dakota 1, Malin 2, Jordan 3. Moto 37, 26, 35 intermediate. Brady Connor, Andrew Downtown Brown, and Jason Mercer. Not total points. What you see is what you get here. Got some intermediate riders getting some expert points. Once you throw an expert in with them, everybody gets a few extra points.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
That is going to be Downtown Brown with your 1, the 73. Brady Connor with the 2. Jason Mercer going to be your 3. Moto 38, 12-year-old girls expert. Gwenny Garrow, Tatum Wellborn, and Smiley Kylie Shepard. Tatum sitting on the 1s. Gwenny on the 2s. Kylie on the 3s all night long. That's where they're sitting right now, too.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And to the stripe, Tatum going to hold on, get your overall 1. Gwenny Garrow's looking like the overall 2. Smiley Kylie going to be your overall 3. Moto number 39 on track, 4150 women expert, Grandma Mary Wallace, Vanessa Mayo, and Miss Kitty Weston Nauer. Vanessa sitting on a pair of aces, going in. Miss Kitty on the 2s, Grandma Mary on the 3s.
Attention.
Okay, riders, random start.
And coming to the stripe,
ready,
not going to be bummed out announcing this one. Vanessa Mayo is going to get your overall 1. I saw your jump, getting a little, putting some air between you and the ground there. Miss Kitty going to get your 2. And Grandma Mary going to be your overall 3. Moto number 40, 7-year-old experts, Kane the Hulk Combs, Elijah Corn, Holly, and Austin Baby Cake Miller. Why is it cutting out now? I've been in the same place all night.
Attention.
All right, Austin Miller sitting on the 1s, Kane on the 2s, Elijah Corndog, Holly on the 3s. Speaking of Holly, Zach Holly has been out here taking photos. When he posts them, we will repost on our Facebook page, and make sure you hit that Venmo link for him too. That is going to be Austin Miller, your overall 1. Kane Combs, your overall 2. Elijah Holly, your overall 3. Moto 41, 8-year-old experts, Emmett Hall, Euless Shingleton, and Weston, Sheepdog Shepherd. Euless and Weston tied up in points. Weston sitting up front, Euless on the 2.
Attention.
Emmett sitting on the 3
Okay, riders,
in this
start.
8-year-old expert group.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
So that, maybe. I don't know who that was. All right, that is going to be Weston Shepherd, barely hanging on to the 1. Eula Shingleton with your 2 and Emmett Hall with your 3.
Okay, riders. Random
I do have
start.
advice that no one listens to, but don't jump the last table in races. Just get over that line. Save the jumping. All right, right now that is going to be Jackson Bowie with getting your 1 in Moto 42. Graham Little with your 2. And Corbin Clutchhauer going to be your 3 out of Moto 42. 9-year-old expert. Moto 43, 10-year-old expert. Racing Case and Murray, Jet the Hawk O'Connell, Bea Quad Stotson, and Sawyer Snake Penny.
Attention.
Okay, riders. Random start. Riders ready.
Right
Watch
now,
the gate.
coming down that last straight, we got the 3, the State 1, and the 26. So that is going to be Racing Case and Murray with your 1, Sawyer Penny with your 2, and Jet the Hawk O'Connell going to be your 3. Moto 44, 11-year-old expert, Xavier Davidson, Creighton Harris, Brady Holshot Barker, Hector Laredo Jr., and EJ Hawthorne.
Okay, riders. Random start.
Laredo Hawthorne
Riders ready.
sitting up
Watch the
front.
gate.
Xavier Davidson sitting on the 3. And that is going to be Hector Laredo Jr., EJ Hawthorne, and Xavier Davidson in that order. Moto number 45, 12-year-old experts, Maverick Moorfield sitting on the 1s, Vernon Morgan on the 2s, Corbin Davidson 3.
Attention.
And that is what they're looking like coming out of turn number 2.
Ready. Watch the gate.
Maverick Moorfield looking to sweep the aces all night long, and that's what he does with the overall 1. Vernon Morgan, your overall 2, and Corbin Davidson going to be your overall 3. Moto number 46, 13-year-old experts, AJ Johnson, Liam the Nightmare Taylor, Logan Silent Assassin, Carson, Patrick Couts, and Cody Velasquez. And sitting up front is that 1 bike, Logan Carson.
Attention.
Okay, riders. Random
We got a
start.
battle for 2.
Riders ready. Watch the gate.
Trying to make moves on that last straight. That is going to be Logan Carson, the 44. Cody Velasquez moving on, and the 22, AJ Johnson, going to be your 3. Moto number 47, 14-year-old experts, Colton Hengel sitting on low points. Zach Hurricane Campbell on your 2s, Jake Caddy on your 3s.
Ready. Watch the gate.
And that is how they're going to finish this round. Colton Hengel, your overall 1. Zach Campbell, your overall 2. Jake Caddy, your overall 3. 15-year-old experts, Jameson Ashley, Gerald, Wise Guy, Wiseman, and Cassius Money Combs, but they have been finishing in that reverse order all night long. Right now, that 25 bike, Cassius Money Combs sitting up front, Gerald, Wise Guy, Wiseman on the 2s, Jameson Ashley sitting on your 3s.
Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
And crossing the line, Cash with your 1, Gerald with your 2, Jameson going to be the 3. Moto 49, 16-year-old experts, Evan Penny, Jacob Lyon, Brody Stafford, McKenna Leptak, and Jasper Captain Kennedy. Sitting up front, Kennedy and Stafford, Penny sitting in the 3, Leptak on the 4.
Okay, riders. Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
And that is going to be their finish order. Kennedy with your 1, Stafford your 2, Penny going to hold on to the 3. Moto number 49, 16-year-old, 50, 1720 experts, Sean Madden, Dylan Larson, Darren Nash, and some mystery Ghost Rider. Don't know how I snuck in there.
Attention.
And coming across
Okay, right.
is
Random
Drew
start.
Polk showing us what a pro looks like. Sean Madden going to be your 1, Darren Nash your 2, and Dylan Larson going to be your 3. And guys, this is the last moto of the night right here. Johnson & Johnson and Novotny, another law firm. Scott Johnson, Matt Daniel Johnson, and Nick Novotny pushing hard. Going into turn 2, Nick Novotny sitting up front. Scott Johnson right there on the hip pocket. Matt Daniel Johnson trying to chase him down. Oh my gosh. Great save, Scott. Woo, and that is going to be Nick Novotny with your 1. Matt Daniel Johnson with your 2. Scott Johnson going to ride another day. Those clips saved you on that one.